welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor and my special guest, South Jersey Broker, who's going to be coming on in just a minute. I first wanted to start out by thanking all of these awesome people on this list, the sponsors of this channel that make this content possible over at femyoga.com. If you're new, I'm Taylor. Feel free to follow. I am live for at least 3 hours every single day. Dan on Fleek, you were the first comments of the broadcast on both platforms we're live on right now, Periscope and Twitch. Hello, David. I see Ed in the chat. If he wants to comment, he can even, for the replay viewers and for people here early, you can get some follows. We're going to be talking about Tai Lopez's 67 steps. Before I do that, before I bring him on, I just want to quickly promote some stuff that we're going to be doing in the future of this channel, because I do read a new book every single week. And there he is in the green with the flame next to his name, because he's the flamer. What's up? There you go. Follow him. It's funny because I can hear him, but you guys can't. Oh, okay, David. Well, have a good day at work. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Thanks for liking all my Instagram posts. I love that. I appreciate that. Appreciate all of you. So just so you guys know, tonight we're going to be powering through a lot more of the John Galt monologue towards the end of Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. So that will be about maybe 2 hours of content tonight. Maybe we can get through the rest of it. And then moving forward, we're going to be reading this book, which I've already read at least once or twice, but I want to read again. It's called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. It's an excellent, excellent book for entrepreneurs, one of my favorite books of all time, one of my most recommended books for any entrepreneurs that I know. If you haven't read it and you do have your own business, please get this book, The E-Myth, Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. And the E is not for like e-commerce or internet, which is what I thought when I first heard of it. It's actually about entrepreneurialism. So the E is for entrepreneur and the myth about being an entrepreneur. So we're going to read that together, and we're actually going to go through that together, and I'm going to develop some of the systems in that book for my business, and we can kind of do that together for those of you who have your own businesses and those of you who are starting your own businesses. And then lastly, we are also going to be doing this book. So this is all coming down the pike. This book is called Nudge. It's Improving Decisions About Health, Wealth, and Happiness by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein. I haven't read this one before, but this will be another one coming up in the future. So stay tuned for all these delicious books. And now, without any further ado, hi, Vipul. I am going to bring, no more fodder. Okay, I'm going to bring on my guest, Ed, South Jersey Broker, someone that you know what? I was going to say this because I forgot to say this last time. It's his face that goes into the tip jar a lot, so you might recognize him. How many steps remaining to be discussed? 64. Last week, I'm going to bring him on, okay? 3, 2, 1, because he's talking in my ear. All right. Hi, Ed. Hi, welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. Last week we did this on Friday at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully we can convince him to keep doing this with us on Friday so we can get through all of the steps together. And last week we talked about the first 3 steps. Now, I told you what I call the steps, but I didn't really clarify that those aren't actually what Tai calls the steps. So he may or may not even agree with me that that's what the steps are about. But those were my takeaways. So actually, to take a concept from Tai, he talks about being a gold miner. When you read books, when you digest any information, look for the golden nuggets. So what I have in front of me here that I'm reading off of is my interpretation of what Tai presented in the 67 steps. Oh, don't let Ed get off camera. I missed what the second half of that comment said.
It's actually more fun to be off camera and troll you. I think that would be a better scope. If I'm not actually on camera, I'm just trolling you in your ear.
How's the audio? Are we balanced? Are either of us louder than the other? If 67 steps was a book, first 3 steps would take up 290 pages and the last 64, 3 pages. No, that's not true at all, Vipul. Not at all. But I did want to kind of rewind and go back. We're not going to discuss them really much further. We really hammered it out last week, but I do want to tell you what Tai actually calls the steps so you can get a feel for what the program's really like. And if you're interested in this program, you can go to tailopez.com. Oh, Dan. Is Ed really louder? That's what I thought he was louder.
Am I really louder?
Yeah, you're like, but I already have you turned so much lower than me.
Do you want me to flick the little switch?
No, I think that's probably better. Hang on. Oh, that's probably perfect. No, do not touch
Don't
anything.
touch anything?
Yes.
Don't touch anything.
Hi, Nick. Welcome. How are you?
Nick, what's up?
Yeah, me, Ed, Nick, and Dan actually all met up in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and had a really fun meetup for like 3 or 4 days. Audio's perfect. All right, Vipul, I'm going to stop fussing with them. All right, so what I said step 1 was in the 67 Steps program. Does anyone remember? Ed, do you remember? Step 1?
And it's singing in basketball or something?
No, I
Tell
don't mean
me.
the name that he has
Tell me
for it, the
right.
name that I have.
His name was better, though, because I actually remember that.
Nick
I don't
wants you
remember.
to open Bob's, and Dan says that you sound better because of your amazingly shaped microphone.
Yeah.
OBS already
wait.
disconnected on us.
What happened? I disconnected?
No, OBS
What?
did.
Oh,
Me and you are still going, but no one else
Oh.
can see this.
Dude. All right.
Okay, it's reconnected. It's reconnected. It's
I'm
okay.
still frozen.
We're back. No, we're back.
Okay.
We have a repeater bot back in the building. We're gonna get rid of her. Yeah, do you want to show your microphone? Because Dan obviously wants to see it.
Absolutely. Here it is right here.
It's definitely your microphone that makes that clicky sound, because when you
No,
picked it
it's
up,
not.
it's making the sound. Do you
No,
guys
it's-
hear that clicking sound?
It's awesome. No one hears any clicking. This, I mean, look at the shape of it. It's perfect. I'm gonna put it down now because I get excited when I hold it up. Does anybody else get excited when I hold this up? Like, and not because of
Not
what you
even a
guys
little
are
bit.
thinking. It's just blue and it has a light on it. That's the only reason I like it. Not obviously because it's shaped like a banana. That's
John
fine.
hears the clicking.
Yeah. All right. How about now? I don't touch it.
It's when you talk, because it's your microphone.
It is not.
Doe knows the issues with audio. Nick said he lost all audio. What the heck? Not the sex toy mic again. Oh, Doe, did you see what's trending on Twitter right now? The Beatles in 5 words? Phew, I figured I would mention that to you. Oh, I feel like our audio's all over the place. Ed, can you say some things?
Yeah. Can you hear me? So I'm gonna
Why
make.
are we so loud? Especially you.
Am I loud?
I have you turned down to less than half maximum volume, and both of us are still kind of peaking. How about now?
How about now? I don't know.
Okay, you say some things, I say some things.
I'm gonna add a new microphone.
Oh,
to my
that's
voice.
good. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you hear me?
good. Yes. Now we just have to not get too excited. Keep it at this level.
Keep our tone.
Sound is good? Cool, thanks. Sorry, I was reading comments.
What just happened?
I froze. No. Hi, Lady Liz. Love from New York. And do you have love for Liz, Ed?
Absolutely. I have love for everyone.
From
I love
where?
all people.
Where are you sending love to Liz from?
Australia.
Okay, forget it. So I said that step 1 was
New
called
Jersey. It's fine. Go ahead.
New Jersey. When Vegan Doe enters, average IQ of all viewers rises by several points. Vipul, that's awesome. I already feel smarter. I can't talk today.
Yep.
Smarter.
Definitely helping,
What was the other
definitely
thing? Without further ado, I can't do THs. I'm like people from Brazil who speak Portuguese. They can't say THs. They just say Ts. Anyway, moving on. I was gonna say something. And I feel smarter already, and Doe's not allowed to leave because otherwise it's gonna get even worse. Step 1. I
Step one.
said that step 1 was become deserving. Now, Nick said, okay, so step 4.
What did Ty call it, though? Can we tell him what Ty
Yes,
called it?
that's what I'm gonna do. Okay,
Because
so
that's really
Ty
interesting.
calls it, hey TMF, Ty calls it the billionaire's brain and Jennifer Lopez's voice.
Become deserving. I don't know where we got.
And I
His
call it
description.
become deserving. Dan. Dan, I think you might be too easily pleased. Do you have any comments about that?
What about?
The billionaire's brain and Jennifer Lopez's voice.
No, I don't see how that describes that chapter at all. Like that step at all.
Become deserving. Well, that's like he uses those are like the anecdotes that he uses to portray certain points. So I think what he was saying, now I could be wrong about this, and Jennifer Lopez, if you're watching, I apologize because I could be wrong. But I think basically he's saying that Jennifer Lopez has a good voice, but she doesn't have an amazing, like the best voice in the whole world. So she had to work really hard and kind of become deserving of her success. It wasn't something where she just kind of was like born with this amazing voice and worked, kind of half-heartedly, I'll say.
Okay.
So I think that's what it was. I don't remember what the billionaire's brain really meant, but I know what I took away from it was that step 1 is to become deserving. Now, these 67 steps are steps to what Tai calls the good life, which he says is health, wealth, and happiness. And that's why I wanted to plug this book that we're going to be reading in the future nudge, because it says improving decisions. Oh, this is like backwards. About health, wealth, and happiness. What? It's a sign. Regard to you, bot. How are you? Step 2. He calls blue-footed booby birds and the 500-year-old mind.
Yep. What do you call it?
I call that adaptability and experimentation.
Okay.
Okay. So does that one seem to make a little more sense or no?
Nope. It's no meaning whatsoever. I can't link the two at all. Like, I have no... Like, normally when you say something and it makes sense, that to me makes no sense. His descriptions don't mean anything.
Dan says, can I tell you how excited I am that bots are back? I don't understand. So anyway, I think it makes sense because blue-footed booby birds... Oh, I skipped a part. Wait, sorry. It's called blue-footed bird...
What is a blue-footed booby bird? That's the first question, because I have no idea what that is.
It's a bird with blue feet.
Okay, great.
And, okay, so what it's called. You like the Blue Boobies title better? This scope is already going off a cliff.
We didn't even get to the first step.
Vegan Doe's repeating Dan's comment. You're supposed to put a little bit of Russian at the end and an emoji. They're cute and have blue feet. There we go. Thank you, Doe. See, we're all getting smarter. Blue-footed booby birds, ESS, and the 500-year-old mind. So what's really interesting is that we just finished this book, The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins, and we talked about ESS in this book, which stands for Evolutionarily Stable Strategy. So that is perfectly, and blue-footed booby birds also, the way that it has something to do with the way that they evolved to have blue feet. There's some reason, I'm sure there's a good reason, I don't remember what it is right now, but that's what it has. He was using those as anecdotes, kind of parables, to describe the importance of adaptation and evolutionarily stable strategy. And what he calls the 500-year-old mind is he's talking about evolution and how long evolution can take, and that our mind is in many ways still very geared towards a primal existence of kind of scarcity. And now that we have more of a world of abundance, and there's kind of, especially thanks to oil, there's so many resources for everyone. Vegan Doe is a bot, actually. Yeah. Is that a real bot verified? Really, Michelle? There was a verified bot? Maybe it wasn't a bot. Maybe I just blocked some girl saying regard. So yeah, he talks about how important it is to experiment and adapt to changes. And we talked about that last week. We learned that frogs don't have penises in that book. We did learn that, Amy. We did. There's no male and female... Oh, there are male and female frogs, but they don't have genitalia or something like that. I don't know. Anyway. Can you tell how much I actually retained from these books? Ed!
Hold on. Wait a second. I don't know why that's happening.
I don't know why that's happening. Hi, Dara's. How live is this? Why is the volume so low? Jin, I'm gonna time you out. Can somebody go time out Jin375 on Twitch? I always oh, wait, that is a bot. Now it's a bot. Oh, you guys, the bots are trolling. Your bot trolling. It's freaking blowing me away. Why is the volume so low? Is the volume really low? Should I just crank us both up and just hope for the best? They said that on Twitch. How is it on Periscope? Everyone said it was okay. It sounds fine in my ears. And you're hearing me okay,
it sounds fine to me, yeah.
What about on your Periscope? Can you, I know it'll be a little echoey, but can you, like, turn up your volume and see how it sounds? Sure. Hi, Kivar. I guess I could do that, too. I'm just going to put him to work. He doesn't do enough for the channel as it is.
I got it. Don't worry. Your voice sounds perfect, so.
What about yours? You don't talk enough, so you can't hear it. He said my voice is perfect. Bots trolling bots. Michelle, my brain can't handle it. Dan says it's fine.
It sounds fine.
Vegan Doe, thank you. Vegan Doe is putting robot emojis up in Twitch. I love it. Volume's good. Thank you, Victoria. And Nick is in there too. Okay, it's a party. It's officially a party. Now, back to the names of Tai's steps. Whoop. Step 3. Ed was born perfect. Dan, are you openly hitting on Ed in this broadcast right now? Ed, will you just go on a date with Dan?
I will. Dan, come up to New Jersey because I don't keep appointments.
Is your wife going to be okay with that?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Just stop by the house. It's fine. We'll figure it out. I'll just bring you to dinner. It's Dan. Like, I'll just bring him in.
You'll just bring him, like, on a date with you and your wife?
I'll just bring him home.
Like family dinner, Dan.
This is my date, Dan. He's here for dinner.
You're gonna take him on a date to your family dinner at your house?
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, at the worst, I get weird looks. You know, I can deal with it.
He's sending you flowers.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
That's so sweet. All right,
Dan, I really like chocolate. So
there's a chocolate emoji. I like chocolate too. I might go to the diner after this. Dan says he's great with kids.
Oh, good. Perfect.
That's perfect, right?
That's
okay. So step 3, I called humility. The importance of humility. It's a long one. Get ready. Get your ears ready. Rub them. Get them warmed up. Ed.
I'm ready.
No, more. You gotta rub them.
Yep. You know, I can't really rub this or the speaker will fall.
Okay. So step 3 is called Sam Walton's Night. Wait, try again. Sam Walton's Night in a Brazilian Jail, Stealing from McDonald's, and Michael Jordan's Humility.
And what did you call that one?
Humility.
Wait, you just called it humility?
Yeah, I shortened it.
And they called it Sam Walton's Night in a Jail?
Sam Walton's Night in a Brazilian Jail, Stealing from McDonald's, and Michael Jordan's Humility.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting your followers, Nick. So, Sam Walton's Night in a Brazilian Jail. I have Sam Walton's book. It's called Made in America. It's right here. And if you haven't read this is actually, I watched Tai Lopez's TED Talk, which is going to be tied into step 4, which I promise we're going to get to shortly.
We'll eventually get
I told Dan if we get through 2 steps on this broadcast, I'd be happy with that.
At this rate, we're going to get through 1. But that's
no,
okay.
It's only 3:17. I think we're doing better this time than last time. We hadn't even gotten anywhere near the steps at this point last week.
Good.
You don't think Sam Walton went to jail? Vipul, you think it's a lie? You think it's just like made up like a publicity stunt or something? It was just one night. Okay, so I watched Tai Lopez's TED Talk because it's about the next step we're about to go over. But what's interesting is he talked about the importance of this book and how interesting that clicking. Oh, okay, it's fine. And how he thinks it's interesting that everyone in America doesn't read this book as part of public education. So I have a lot of beliefs about that. We're never going to get to the steps if I start talking about my beliefs on public education and government forced, coerced education. So instead, we're just going to say, this is a good book, and Tai recommends it, as do I. This is about Sam Walton, the guy who created Walmart and Sam's Club. And he is the guy that Tai is talking about ending up in a Brazilian jail, and the reason that he did that was because he was in Brazil, and I forget why he was there, but while he was there, he was looking at his competitors' stores. I mean, not direct competitors, because they were in Brazil, and this is before internet was, delivering things internationally as easily. But he was while he was there for a meeting, something like that. Do you know this story, Ed?
No, I don't.
So while he was there, he found like another retail store, a discount store that was similar to what he was running, which, here's some trivia. What was the name of Sam's store when he first started it? It wasn't Walmart at first. It was called Walton's Five and Dime, I think, something like that.
Yeah, that is
Funny thing about that book is if you look on the back of it, it says Made in China. I think that was a bot, but that was actually really useful, so I'm not even going to block that bot, because I didn't see who said that, but it probably does. I mean, a lot of stuff is made, outsourced that is brought to America. Printed in the USA. Boom! Beat that. Walton's. Yeah, I think it was called Walton's Five and Dime. So he was he was kind of like the creator almost, or one of the very first pioneers, and definitely the most successful of the pioneers in discount retailing. So offering things at a discounted price and trying to undercut your competitors by offering a really cutthroat rate, and focusing on quantity of orders over really high order cost, average order value. What's the word I'm looking for here? No, I think that was a good joke, Amy. I thought that was actually really good. I appreciate that kind of humor. So he was in Brazil, right? So he's going for this meeting, and then he sees another discount store. So what he does is he's in there, and he's crawling around on the floor, trying to, and he's with a tape measure, and he's measuring the width of the aisles. And that kind of shows, and he was already a billionaire at this point. He was already a billionaire, and he was still crawling around on his hands and knees comparing inches between his stores and his competitors' stores to see if there was something he could learn. Now, these people weren't billionaires. This store, he was, nobody was as successful as he was, really. But he still saw that he could learn something from anyone, even this small little discount store in Brazil. So I think that's kind of why he was sharing that story, to show that even Sam Walton, one of the most successful people in the world, was constantly humble. He was always very open to being able to learn from anyone, and always looking what can he learn, what can he gain from every situation he ended up in. And I think that oh my god, Dan!
Either that or he was completely crazy. Because that just proves billionaires are nuts.
What do you mean by that, Mike? Looks like a typical broker from Jersey. So typical.
Thank you.
You have a typical face.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
Dan says that he's always comparing inches with his competitors.
No comment.
Nick said he thought of it, didn't say it. Hi, Tips Talons. Is what a scam? We're not selling you anything. We're just having an open discussion. So feel free to participate or not. Up to you. Hello, you beautiful bots. Goodbye. I think, what was the other things? I think we might be almost to step 4. Stealing from McDonald's. I think that just means, he said something, I think was it credited to Picasso? But he's from South Jersey. That's true, Bobby. That is true. Mike says he always wins by inches. And Dan is sending many super hearts. Thank you, Dan, for super hearts of the broadcast, helping us get to that 30 million super heart goal. We're just over 1 million away from that. We got this. I would really like to have it done by Saturday night so we could start doing our $500 giveaway on Sunday, but it's okay. If we don't get there, we're going to figure it out. We're just going to have to hold off. You guys aren't going to get 5. Wait, what?
We only need 1 million right now?
Yeah.
This scope, we should be able to get 1 million on this scope.
Okay.
Because I'm here. Like, what the hell?
Why don't you start sending super hearts while we do this?
No. I'm the guest. I can't send the super hearts. I'm here to receive them.
Mike, we're talking about how to, the health, wealth, and happiness. That's what we're talking about. So we're going to be talking about how to get to wealth in a lot of this, especially because I think that's kind of a big connection between, I don't know what I'm pointing at, between Ed and I. That's why we met through Periscope, but we kind of connected over our interest in business. So even though this is geared towards health, wealth, and happiness, we're probably going to be spending a lot of time focusing on wealth. So if you don't have any money to send super hearts, stay tuned and you'll learn how to get more money.
By the end of this broadcast, you'll be able to send 1 million super hearts by yourself. Yeah?
Not guaranteed. The opinions of South Jersey Broker do not reflect the opinions of Fem Yoga.
Yeah, I don't warrant any of this information either, so just in case anyone's wondering.
So I think the quote was credited to Picasso, and he said that, good artists copy, great artists steal, or something. It was something like that. I don't know. I'm probably a little bit off with the quote there, but that's what he's saying. Like, if you see a company that's doing really well, you just do what they do. Don't think that you're better than them, that you're smarter than them, and you figured out something that a multi-billion-dollar company didn't already figure out. Learn from them. Be humble. Be open to everything that you could learn, and then you can always do like we went back to step 2, experiment, adapt, change. You can always implement small changes, but why reinvent the wheel when you can just, we talked about last week too, standing on the shoulders of giants, which is actually the perfect segue to step 4, but I did want to also say Michael Jordan was very successful, obviously. And he was considered to be very humble. His coaches said that he was the most teachable, most coachable, and that's why he was the most successful, because he actually listened to his coaches and did what they said to do. And he also the hard work, that step 1, become deserving. He spent hours of practice time on the court working towards his goal. Smart thinking. Thanks, Digger. Were you going to say something?
Michael Jordan? Yeah, he also got cut a bunch of times too.
And he tried baseball and failed.
He wasn't successful at first.
Good one.
They told him he would never play basketball professionally. I can't remember who told him that, but somebody did tell him that. So he could have given up and said, yeah, you're right. But obviously he didn't.
Yep. Are you ready for step 4?
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
I'm so excited. Okay, so, oh, hey, look. He calls it, I was just talking about Picasso. This is creeping me out. All these coincidences. I love my life. Step 4. Tai calls it, oh my God, OBS crashed again.
It crashed again.
I don't understand. But see, my internet's not down right now. My internet looks fine. Steve from Florida started following me on Instagram. Thank you, Steve from Florida. We are reconnected successfully. Back in the building. Sodom 108 is here. Hello, hello, hello. Melissa liked my Instagram post. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Welcome back. Come back in. I don't know. OBS has crashed twice on this broadcast. We've been going not even 30 minutes. Sorry. I don't know why. I want to fix it, but I don't know what the problem is. But as soon as I figure out what the problem is, I will fix it. And I like a good challenge. So thank you, computer. Thank you, OBS. Thank you, Windows 10. Thank you, technology, for giving me problems to solve so that I can stay successful. All right, step 4.
Okay.
Tai calls it Picasso's rising tide and the law of 33%. I called it almost the same thing, actually. Multiple mentors and the law of 33%. So that one's actually pretty close. Do you remember what I told you the law of 33% is?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
So that's that no matter what, there will be 33% of people who are better and 33% of people who are worse.
And what about the other 33? 99% of people. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm like, wait, where are those other 33?
You get 3 points for trivia.
They're the only 3 points I'll ever get. I appreciate that.
Especially if Vegan Dough is here.
Yeah, can we just end the game now so I win?
Is Sonam hacking our scope? Vipul says that the scope crashed when Sonam tried to come in, so she might be trying to shut it down. Maybe she wants to go live. Typical Sonam, hacker extraordinaire.
Sounds right.
So yes, the law of 33% is exactly what Ed just said. It is rationing your time or managing your time into 3 equal parts. Spending the other 33% don't believe in the 33 idea. Poppy. Spend 33% of your time around people who aren't doing as well as you. Because those people, one, they make you feel better because you're like, wow, I'm killing it. I'm doing great. So it boosts your confidence and it can be energizing depending. Secondly, you don't want to forget about when you struggled and things that you can teach other people. So you want to spend about 1/3 of your time with people that have things to learn from you. And I think this is in one of the much later steps, and he talks about, realize who's at the table and whether you should be talking or whether you should be listening. So when you're with this 33% of people who are behind you on their path to their goals, you want to be the one talking. You don't really want to spend a whole time listening to people like that because their advice is unwarranted. They haven't had success. So unless they've had success in something you haven't, then why take their advice for anything or even listen to them a lot? I mean, human interaction, you're going to listen to what they're saying, but you don't want to give them too much of the floor. You want to make sure that you're kind of helping them to advance and they're not holding you back. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have enough patience to get through the 67 steps, you probably don't have the patience to be wildly successful in life and have the good life that he talks about, health, wealth, and happiness. Here I talk about health, wealth, and relationship goals because I think happiness kind of comes with those 3 things. So I focus more directly on social interaction with relationships, in regard to relationships, but very similar. Tai is definitely a big inspiration of mine. And a big reason that I have all these books, because he got me back into reading. So thanks, Tai. Asif, thanks for liking my post on Instagram. Why aren't you here live? I'm triggered. Did you have anything you want to say about people who are the 33% below us?
No, not really.
Of course not. Okay, so the next 33%.
Really nothing to say about that.
Because I'm doing such a good job at covering every single thing.
You have it totally covered.
Thanks. So, the second 33%, the second chunk, is people who are at the same level as you. They're doing about the same. You have similar maybe interest skills and maybe similar, incomes. You're kind of maybe relationally on the same path. WC time? What's WC time? Wheelchair time? These are your peers. These are your colleagues. These are the people that you learn together with. You're kind of on the journey with them, right? There's not a whole lot to say about that because wherever you're at, that's where they're going to be at too, and there's not a whole lot to be learned there. It's just kind of purely social almost. Anything that you would add to that about people who are like doing, peers, colleagues, anything? Chelsea, thanks for liking my Instagram post. Okay.
I think that's fair. I think your 33%, that's the same as pretty much the people who are just like you. I mean, they're not really, they're kind of like your competition at the current, like it's who you're competing against. Yeah, because you're normally not competing against the people who are worse than you, and you're normally not really competing against the people who are better than you. You're kind of just competing against all the people who are, in the same mental state as you are.
That's so true.
So, yeah, it's like
your competition in a way. Yeah, I like that actually. That's a cool way of looking at it.
It's your puddle of life.
Puddle of life?
Like your pond, Like if you get
like
better.
Like if you're a frog without a penis?
Yeah. If you No, I didn't say the word penis. Can we say penis?
Yeah, we can say penis. It's anatomy. I have anatomy books.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to pull them out?
Is there a dump button? I can stop that. Right.
Censor. Hey, I have no heart race up. What am I doing? Okay, you talk, I heart race.
Yeah, because you know how much I talk, which is great.
On here, maybe.
What about the next 33%?
Thank you. Vipul, David, Tia, this person, this person, this person. So many ladies in the house. I love it. Thank you for the hearts. Ed, you get so many hearts from the ladies.
Thank you.
Dan said pull it out. Oh, the Yoga Anatomy book.
Dan, what?
Hi, Seth Petrozine. Hello, Peter. How are you? Thank you, Scobar and Daphne Duke, for liking my Instagram posts. Oh, is that... Oh, water cabinet. Oh, you're just hanging out with me on the toilet? Well, feel free to follow me, because I know you'll have to come to the toilet again at some point, and I'm here for 3 hours every single day, so those days you're on the toilet for a long time, I am here for you.
That was a good promo. I like that.
No, ew. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Hi, how have you been, Seth? All right.
Okay. You ready?
The 33% that everyone forgets about. The 33% everyone forgets about is the people who are doing better than you. And I'm not talking about like a little bit better than you, and there's borderline, they might even be a peer. They're kind of like, yeah, they can teach you some stuff, but they're doing like, a little better than you. Yes, Vipul, everyone's going to compete with you now, I bet. Oh, thanks, Seth. It's, it's because I'm awake during the daytime, and you're probably, for so long I was awake at night, so it's artificial lighting, where this is actually sunlight coming in through the window. So I'm not really glowing, the sun is glowing, and I'm awake in the daytime, so it's nice. But thank you for the compliments. What Tai says, he calls it the law of 10x. So he says that you should look for a mentor that is at least doing at least 10 times better than you. So if you want, so for me, I want to make $100,000 in a year. So I would look for someone who's making $1 million in a year to be a mentor, to be like the someone who can really teach you something that makes you uncomfortable. Someone who's doing so much more than you that you're just like, how could this person even spend any time with me? But remember that just like you, they remember their struggle too. And assuming that you're going to be mentored by someone who's self-made, because if they were born with money, there's not a whole lot they could teach you about that. But people who are self-made, if that's what you want to do. I'm projecting my own goals and, again, our interest of wealth onto this. Thanks for inviting your followers and retweeting. Trevor, good to see you back. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. But yes. We are now best friends because his name's Taylor Fan. Have you seen him yet, Ed?
Yeah, no, I did. He likes Taylor Swift, right?
Why isn't... No, he likes me.
But his name was Taylor Swift. Isn't there a picture of him with Taylor Swift?
I thought so, but it wasn't. It's not her. It's Alien something. What's the show? Alien.
Oh.
Allie and... Oh, yeah, you have boys. I don't know.
Oh my
it's
God.
like a kid show.
Yes.
if it's not comfortable, you're doing the right thing in life. Yeah, you know what? My friend Vito sent this really cool picture to me on Twitter the other day. I wonder if I can pull it up really quick. And it had a little graphic of your comfort zone. It has like a little circle of your comfort zone, and then it has this big circle outside of it where it says where all the magic happens. And I was like, I actually kind of like that. It was pretty motivational if I could find it. Boom. Yes. Your comfort zone, and then where the magic happens. And they have the magic happening in a much, much, much bigger circle than your little tiny comfort zone. The concept that there's so much more out there than your fear is willing to let you experience. So if you can eradicate fear, which is a big theme on this channel this year, you can experience magic. Magic is real. Do you agree with that, Ed?
Yep, I agree with that.
Do you really, though? Did you move? You moved. Don't move.
Did I move?
I told you not to move. You moved. Look, see how you have one arm and not the other? I'm gonna crop you. I'm cropping you. I'm chopping your arm off. You need to say more things. Talk about people doing way better than you. Talk about mentors.
Talk about mentors?
Yeah.
I don't know. The people that I mentor with generally are doing like, I don't know, they're doing like $10 million a year in volume of like sales.
Do you want to share how that compares to your numbers? Are you following the 10x rule?
It's substantially more than 10 times.
Nice. There we go. I love it. Yeah, he also said people who are 10 to 20 years older than you too is good. Dan says he needs a mentor. It's not easy to find a mentor, and that was something, I encourage you guys to watch Tai's TED Talk. Just look up Tai Lopez, his name's in the title. Tai Lopez TED Talk. It's the only one he's done, I'm pretty sure, is a TEDx talk, and it's called The Law of 33%. It's only like 18 minutes long or something like that. It's really easy to get through. It's really basic verbiage, nothing too crazy, really easy to grasp, and he shares the story of his first financial mentor. So first he went to his grandfather. Seth wants to know, South Jersey Broker, who is your mentor in life? Who do you look up to?
So the mentors that I have are not mainstream mentors. Like, it's not anyone you would know if I told you their name, but they are people who are doing a high level of investing and like real estate flipping and things like that. They're actually very quiet millionaires, so they are the ones that teach me the most because they are hyper focused on strictly just doing that business. They're not focused on anything else. So I find a lot of like value in what they provide because they only focus on investing in real estate, which is all I really am interested in right now.
Right. Good stuff. Good question. Thank you for asking that, Seth. Nick says that
Nick is my mentor.
Yes.
Nick
and everything you just said is true about Nick. He said that's true. I am a quiet millionaire. So that's goes to show. So if you want to be this big famous kind of out there and everyone knows all of your business and your exact net worth and everything going on with you at every moment of the day, you're not going to go learn from a quiet millionaire. You're going to go learn from some, dramatic celebrity that's kind of in the spotlight all the time. So if you want, what a lot of people don't realize is that there's so much more wealth that's not this flamboyant lifestyle of being on a red carpet. It's just basically people who worked really hard and eventually they didn't waste it all on BS and now they have a lot.
You know what I would tell you too? Like if you're looking for a mentor, because you have a lot of people on here who probably don't have a physical mentor in their life. If you're looking for a mentor, look for someone who is doing exactly what you want to do at a really high level and then try to connect with them. And most of those people will help you. You got to remember, they're not professional mentors. And that's really, my advice would be to try to stay away from a professional mentor. Like, go towards someone who is doing something at a high level, is really passionate about it, really likes what they're doing. They're going to be more likely to help you and want to see you succeed. And if you actually come in and do what they say, they're going to be really excited about the result that you're getting also, because they're going to see you growing like they grew. And there's just a lot of value to that. But a lot of people, in my opinion, like, go and pick a mentor by popularity and all kinds of other things. And the popularity of your mentor means absolutely nothing. That just means that other people want their attention too. So if you can find somebody who is a secret mentor, who basically doesn't even know they're your mentor, that's almost the best way to go. Just connect with somebody, and they will help you. If you put the effort in, they'll help you. and also at the same time, don't waste their time, because that's probably the biggest dislike of people who are fairly wealthy and are very serious about what they do. If you come in and you're just like some big shot and you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it, don't talk. Let them talk, because the reality is they are going to teach you everything you need to know to do what they're doing. And if you're not doing what they're doing, you shouldn't even be talking. Just listen to everything they say, because they're literally, you know, doing it. I mean, there's no ask questions, but don't tell them anything, because there's nothing you can tell them. And I learned that the hard way, because when I was younger, I was a lot cockier and I had nothing, and I thought that I would just go in and, like, because I can comprehend things quickly, I connect dots fast. I thought that that was what I needed to basically know everything, and I learned very quickly from people who are working on a much higher level that that's not the case at all. So it's just something to keep in mind if you do go seek out a mentor. And that's the best advice I can give you.
I love that. I think that's awesome. Yeah, so there's a great book called Big Game Hunting. Called Big Game Hunting by Christopher Kai. Sonam, I hate you so much.
Actually, Sonam, I don't know if I really mentor Taylor. I think I just listen to her, and then, maybe sometimes she needs help, and then I'll kind of give her some advice. But other than that, she pretty much runs the show.
Oh, that's okay, Dan. Yeah, I mentor Ed, actually.
Yeah, actually, I'm being mentored right now on how to live stream. Yes, because I have no idea how to do this, and so far I'm succeeding. I'm not doing anything but listening.
You're doing good. Where's your light right now? Did you move it?
It's up here. You see it on my forehead?
Really? Oh no, it's over there now?
No, it's up here, but like it's bouncing off my forehead now because it's so high. You see it? It's
well,
right
I mean, I still feel like that side of your face still looks darker than the other. Because the light in the room is probably on your right side.
Yeah, the light in the room is actually much more powerful than any light that I would put in front of me.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Let's all hold hands and mentor each other, Dan said. No, wait, don't touch me. I love you too, Sonam. Yeah, I talk too much. I'm learning that too. But there's the book.
Hey, yeah, what did we learn though? Talking too much actually talks things through also. Sometimes it's important to talk things through and over talk them, because as you're talking them through, you solve your problems and you answer your own questions. So, and it saves work. I mean, how much time did we save the other day talking way too much about something?
That was so weird. It was so fast. Once we finally stopped talking about it and just did it, it was like 20 minutes, maybe 30.
Right, but we thought if we had done it and we didn't talk about it, we would have been like 6 hours working
and
on
then
it
undoing.
Find out we didn't need it. So
right. Yeah, that's true.
There is something to be said about over talking.
Yeah, and what we're talking about is a spreadsheet that I am using to kind of track my numbers for my business. And he's been helping me because he's been in business a lot longer than I am. And if you've ever started a business, when you're first starting out, everything kind of, you just do everything kind of as you go, and things kind of get developed as you go if you're not really well informed and planned and haven't read this book, The E-Myth, which I'm dropping many books to show you. This one. If you read this book first, you can avoid all of that. But yeah, so he helps me out a lot with that. And Seth wants to know, Ed, have you read Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, and has it helped you in any way?
So I skim read Art of the Deal because there's a few things. So I like Donald Trump because I think he's a business genius. But with that said, I don't agree with his style. So like for me personally, whatever he recommends isn't really something I'm going to adopt. I'm never going to do business in that way. So when I skim read through his Art of the Deal, I get what he's saying about certain things, but I personally wouldn't do business that way. So I can't really say that it's influenced me at all. It built a greater respect for him as a business person. I mean, I know he's achieved great things, and he's obviously not a dumb person. But as far as the value for me personally, I never really saw it with him.
What about this guy?
Who's that?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Wait, So that book, Robert Kiyosaki, that book I read when I was 18, and I was still basically broke. And I pretty much, what's interesting is Taylor just read that book on her channel, like a month ago?
Yeah, and something like that, 2 months.
As you were reading it, it reminded me how much of that I've actually adopted into my life over the last 20 years. So that was interesting because I had only read that book one time, and it was one of the first business books I ever read, and I pretty much like sponged it into my head and totally forgot about it. So as you were reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've done that. And it just reminded me how much that actually influenced me. So that book, 100%, pretty much everything in it, I've taken and done almost everything that's in there. So
I love it. And that's cool.
yeah,
So I would say that's something where we kind of like trade book recommendations. So that's a good example of people, you know, elevating your circles, getting around people who have similar interests to you and are doing better than you so that you can all grow together. Because it's not a matter, a lot of people, you know, I talk about virtue of selfishness a lot on here and working hard to get what's yours and earning a lot, but that you're not taking anything at the loss of anyone else. So knowing that we all elevate each other and that it's not like when you're around someone doing much better than you, you know, you might feel kind of crappy about what you're doing, you know, in comparison, but that's only going to motivate you to do better. And it's certainly not going to hurt them as long as they're not taking advice from you. Which, if they're doing that much better than you, they probably already have learned that lesson not to take advice from people who aren't successful at doing what they want to do. We talked about that last week, you know, people offering advice when they have no really ground to stand on. That was actually, hopefully Nick doesn't mind me sharing this story. Nick's mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. We get high on our own supply. What's that now, Dan? Do the knee trick. I don't know what the knee trick is. Ed, do the knee trick.
the knee trick. What the hell's
The knee trick.
The knee trick?
Knee.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Stop touching your microphone, by the way. Are you like doing something near your microphone or something?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
It's clicking. Awesome. We are gonna get Ed a new microphone for next week, hopefully. You have Amazon Prime, right?
It's on my wish list.
Okay, good. Is it on your wish list? All right, where can we go buy you a microphone on your wish list?
I didn't actually make it. I'm just saying that. But you know, send it to Taylor. She'll send it to me. It's fine.
Yes, there you go. femyoga.com. The link is in my bio. Do it, do it, do it. And then he talks about multiple mentors. So usually it's going to be hard to find one person who's living the exact ideal life of everything that you want to have. So just be always on the lookout for finding as many people that you can learn from as possible. If people are doing better than you, go connect with them. And that book that I kind of got distracted from, it's called Big Game Hunting by Christopher Kai. It's a really short, really easy read. One of my favorite reads that I had in 2017. And Dan wants to go to the mall with you, Ed.
We're already going on a date, so let's go to the mall after.
Okay, there we go. Label Trend wants to know, what is the 67 Steps discussion? If you look up tailopez.com, you can learn more about the program. We talked about it already in this broadcast and last week on our broadcast also. Dan's going to buy you ice cream.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, can I add something about the multiple mentors, though? I think it's kind of important. So I've heard people tell me that they can't find a mentor, and I think that is sometimes true. It's not a total falsehood. You'll hear some of the people who believe in mentors saying, no, if you try hard enough, you'll find a mentor. The reality is the people you want to mentor you sometimes are just very busy and they don't have time for you. They don't think you're serious, all that kind of stuff. So if that happens, the best thing you can do is pick the people you want to mentor and just read and kind of like digest everything that they've ever produced. Because like, I love Robert Kiyosaki, and he wrote that book. And if I could get Robert Kiyosaki to be my mentor and not charge me $100,000 a year, I 100% would. But that's not going to happen. Let's be realistic. So in place of that, just basically digesting everything he puts out is pretty much the same thing. You're getting everything that he thinks in that process. You're not necessarily getting their advice, but you're getting, if you really spend the time to read everything they produce, you are getting all of their thoughts on almost every problem and every situation. So you can almost you can have kind of like a fake mentor in that way. And if you're going to do that, that comes down to doing what Taylor does, which is just read a lot of books, because there's so many different concepts and ideas. And I'll tell you, there is no right idea. Like, if you're like, this is my mentor and he's always right, that's totally not true. Like, there's whatever that mentor believes, there's another mentor that believes something completely opposite and is just as successful. So you really have to kind of, go with where your feel is and what inspires you.
And for me, it's what makes sense to me too. Like, if sometimes people, they give advice and I'm like, I have no idea how that makes sense to anyone in any reality ever. And then sometimes you get an idea and you're like, that is a freaking great idea. Like, you know what I mean? When it just jives with your own kind of path, your own vision. Is that what did you call it? Did you say vision? What did you say?
I don't know. What did I say?
How to decide if it goes along with what you're feeling or something like that. I don't know exactly how you said it.
Like the things that inspire you. Like I told Seth, like Donald Trump doesn't really jive with me on a business sense. Like we're not we're not on the same page. So like I don't want to do business like him. Robert Kiyosaki does business in a way that I want to do business, so I follow him. Not that they're not both geniuses, and not that they both don't have great ideas. Not that they're both not successful. They are. They're just successful in different ways, and you have to kind of pick and choose where your where your moral compass and your ethics lie, and that's a big part of it too. Kind of knowing what you're comfortable with. So.
Yeah, I agree. I love that concept of books as mentors. I'm glad you brought that up because I talk about that a lot, and I didn't mention it just now, which would have been the perfect time. So a good example of this is people that you want to be mentored by who aren't alive anymore. It doesn't matter how impressive and successful and amazing at social networking you aren't going to meet them. You're not going to be able to be mentored by them directly. What you can do is figure out what they recorded and what you can learn and what work is left from their life that you can learn from. So that's Ayn Rand, my probably favorite author of all time. And she was born in 1905, so she's not around anymore. Vipul said that Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump wrote some books together and that he tried to do the Art of the Deal technique and it backfired on him.
Yeah, possibly. Well, keep in mind too, like Donald Trump isn't writing books, and neither is Robert Kiyosaki, just because they're nice guys. They're writing books to make money. So, I mean, they're going to do things that make them money. Not everything's going to be a great idea. Not everything's going to work. But I guess what I'm getting at with that is it's not really about all these guys are trying to make money. Even Tai Lopez is trying to make money. He's not just a nice guy trying to give you advice. I mean, this is their business.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean there's not value in there. And that's why it's important to pick and choose where you spend your money and who you do it with. Because if you're not comfortable with it, it's not really worth spending the time on. And by the way, Taylor recommended the E-Myth book to me. I never read that book, and that was fantastic. And I've been using that to modify my entire business. So if you run a small business and you're looking to bring it to another level, I would definitely recommend that book. So.
And Fem Yoga.
And Fem Yoga.
Yeah, you wouldn't recommend us?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that goes without saying.
I guess, yeah, you're on the show, so.
Yeah.
I think we got through step 4.
Did we? Man, we look successful.
Yes! Okay. Ooh, it's so close to the end. All right, let's see. Oh my God, there's so much. There's so much on step 5.
Is this the poor one, rich one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like, I guess there's not a ton because it's actually pretty tied in.
This is pretty straightforward though, right?
Poor friends versus rich friends.
Yeah, I mean that's really straightforward.
Well, I wrote that. Let's see what he calls it. He calls it My Poor Friends and Cameron Diaz's Parrot. I
don't get Cameron Diaz's Parrot.
I don't remember what that's about either.
Well, I'm sure it's great.
Oh, hey Casey, congratulations, you're free. Hey Deb. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I think the rich friend versus poor friend thing is a really big problem for people who are trying to get successful because most people are surrounded by people that are just like them. So there's a time in your life where you decide you want to elevate to the next level. And if you look around at your sphere of people who are in your circle of life, you'll find that most of them are not elevated. Most of them are exactly where you are. And what they actually do is they become enablers for you to stay where you're at. So when you tell them you have a great idea, they're the first one to tell you it's not going to work. When you tell them you have to work more hours, they're the first one to tell you that that's horrible for your friendship and it won't succeed. So you have to really think about who you're surrounded by. But if you surround yourself with poor people, you'll be poor. If you surround yourself with rich people, you'll be rich. I mean, it's really pretty straightforward.
I'm having very trollish thoughts right now.
What? Go ahead, troll me. Troll it.
It's your microphone. Tom said that he hears vibration. And I'm thinking vibration? Like you haven't it's your microphone that's vibrating that's causing that problem. But if you knew what the microphone looked like, it's just very trollish. Hey Maddie, how are you? Oh gosh. You're a big fan of Yoga Taylor, or you're a big fan of Yoga, Taylor. Either way, awesome, me too. I'm a big fan of yoga and Yoga Taylor.
If we're gonna keep doing this, I am gonna have to get a new microphone though.
Are we gonna keep doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, then you have to get a new microphone.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, Dan said that applies to happiness also. Surround yourself with sad people and you'll be sad.
That's true. That is true.
If that mic vibrates, that's not a mic.
It lights up too. It vibrates, it lights up, and it looks a little sketch, but it's cool.
Just a little. Dub likes the vibrating. He likes ASMR, so your microphone is giving us a little ASMR background music.
That's great. We'll have to fix that for next
That
week.
mic is a little offensive.
Do me a favor. I have no idea how to buy a microphone. Can you go pick one out and just send me the link, and I'll buy it?
Yes,
Thanks.
I can do this.
Perfect.
Do you want this one?
Is that a good one?
This one's like $100-something. This is an amazing one. This is like podcast quality. You probably don't need that.
Let's do it.
Hey, well, it's like the best microphone I could find.
I'll be sitting here with my big microphone.
Maddie said he saw that mic at Spencer's in the adult section. You might get banned from Periscope with that mic. Dan's like, I really hope Ty watches this. I hope he doesn't. Microphone is not PG rated. We have to put an 18+ warning on the broadcast because of his microphone.
Look, I'm a Smurf.
Toot. No. No.
That was for Dan. Go
Shut it down. Dub, shut it down. We're never gonna get through this. Poor friends and rich friends, using discernment, and then causation versus correlation. So I wrote, my title is much longer than his on this one. Someone cut that mic off a Smurf. NSFW, yes, definitely NSFW. Not safe for work.
Okay.
And also, I also wrote copy the greats on here. So I think copy the greats probably would have been better on the last step, but whatever. So discernment, realizing like what we just said, who's at the table? Should you be listening or should you be talking? Ed did a good job covering when you're with the people who are doing 10 times better than you, shut up. Just listen. Just let them teach you. Ask questions. Don't waste their time, because that's, one of my first mentor, that we would do like monthly calls, and he was giving it to me for free, even though he normally charged people for that, because that's what I was gonna say. When Ty first reached out to his mentor, he looked in the yellow pages, he found someone under finance, and Sonam, that's awesome.
Cheers, Sonam.
Fiji. And he went to this guy's office, and he said, hey, I know you don't know me, but I can see that you probably know a lot about how to make money. You were able to afford a full page ad in the yellow pages, and I want to learn from you. I want to learn how to make money. I have $47 or something like that. And somehow the guy was like, all right, come back. Or no, what did he say? I've been looking for someone like you for 20 years. I've been waiting, or not waiting, but I've been searching for someone like you for 20 years. Come back in the morning. We'll get to work. I'll teach you everything that I know. Because that's the thing, I've never had someone offer me that they're going to work for me for free in exchange for my knowledge. I mean, that would be amazing. I think most people would love that, for all the way up to Oprah Winfrey. It's like, it's not that you want money. It's not that you want their power or their influence, or you want some type of bribe or anything. You're just trying to learn. And that's a huge compliment to people. So that big game hunting book I keep talking about teaches you how to approach people that you think are way out of your league. Like, Ed should read it and then go approach Robert Kiyosaki, because he's wrong about the idea that that's never going to happen, because it could happen.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be worth my effort to go meet Robert Kiyosaki. He puts all his thoughts in books. He's fine. I don't need to.
I'm triggered right now.
Wait,
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Wait, hold on. I want to talk about something.
It's not worth it.
Let's get off your trigger point. So, what's interesting is, as somebody who employs people, you find people who come to you all the time and they want to get rich without doing any money, without doing any work. So basically, what that is for me is they're telling me that they want to work for me, they want me to pay them, and basically I have all the skin in the game and they have none. So I'm trusting the fact that they're going to perform over 3 months, 6 months, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think the employment world should be completely the opposite. I think you should go in and you should work for free for 30 days and prove that you can do the job. And if you can prove that you can do the job, then I'll pay you. And I think that would be a much better, if somebody came and offered me that from the employee standpoint, I would take them up on that every day, as opposed to somebody who comes in and demands a large amount of money from me for something they haven't proven yet. So I think that's interesting, because what you're saying with the guy who's been looking for that guy for 20 years, I would take that person in a second if they came in and they were like, look, I have $50 to my name, teach me how to make money, and I'll work for free, and I'll show up every day and work my butt off. That's all you could ask for. And those people will be successful. And I can tell you that person would not waste your time, because they're there basically giving their own time without anything in return. So yeah, there's a lot to that.
That
is really good.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, is the top is lonely, and there's not a lot of hungry people out there, not as many as you might think. And
There's a lot of entitled people.
people
Who
are
think that they
afraid.
deserve things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of entitlement. Like especially in our industry, like people come in expecting everything and they want to produce nothing. And it's kind of unfortunate because you really can't be successful with that mindset. Thinking you deserve it is one thing, but coming in and just acting like somebody should give it to you without doing anything is just not. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's a difference
So,
between knowing that you it's like knowing you deserve something only comes from having earned it. You
yeah,
know?
you
My
have to.
husband's printing shipping labels. Yay! We're going to the post office after this, you guys. What time is it? It's 3:59.
No,
Ed, I'm having too much fun.
Dan said, "Isn't that an internship?" It's not really an internship because an internship is still the promise of
Like,
experience for no money. It's I'm talking about someone who wants to make money and comes in and works 40 hours. An internship they work like 10 hours a week, and they're just trying to get experience for their future job. But somebody who comes in and works with you day
it's
and
more like
night,
an apprenticeship.
yeah, more like an apprenticeship.
It's an
If you're going to
unpaid
commit to
apprenticeship.
80 hours a week, if you're going to work as hard as I work every day, you're going to learn a lot. And I
And
think
here's
that's
the
what.
thing, there's no way I'm not going to pay someone who's doing really good work for me. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
If you make me money, I'm definitely gonna cut you in on that money. Like there's no
Exactly.
question.
Exactly.
So it all comes down to how hard do you want to work.
Right. Because I bet you anything that guy that Ty went and offered to work for free, once he proved that he was, carrying his own weight and he wasn't just. Because in the beginning, if you've ever had to train someone, it's like, it's so much faster to just do everything yourself. You're like, oh my god, it's gonna take forever. Like this person's just gonna take. It's gonna be so long before they can do this without having to reference the manual each time.
Yeah.
Um, so once they can prove themselves, though, I mean, there's no way they're not going to get paid because you want that person to stay with you. You don't want them to go work for a competitor or start their own competitor. You want to make sure that they have loyalty to you, so you're going to pay them if you're a smart employer.
Yep. Well, that's what they always say. They say train them, train them. I can't remember the exact quote, but it basically is train your people well, and then pay them well so they don't go away.
Right.
But don't do one of the like a lot of employers don't train their employees well and they expect everything out of them, and it's basically a shit show. But then if you do find one that if you actually do train your people well, then you need to take care of them and give them the courtesy of knowing that they did the work to get to that point.
It's a powerful feeling too when you can actually pay someone else for their goals and their livelihood, and you can actually put food on their table out of the abundance that they help you to create. I mean, it's like this amazing reciprocal. Like when I started Fem Yoga, I was like, oh, I'm gonna help people who are depressed. But it's so much. It's become so much more than that. Now it's like I can help people who are depressed, which I thought about. People who wanted to end their life. That's like the main reason. It's still the main driving force behind why I get on here every day for 3 hours a day. But then I have people who, like even people like you, Ed, who are like, you're already successful, really. But us being able to interact still helps us to kind of like go kind of catapult even bigger and better. And what was the other thing that I was thinking? How it benefits people. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but it's
Well,
just
you're right
awesome.
though. I mean, there's always something to learn. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, no matter how successful we get, it's always beneficial to surround yourself with other people who are thinking the same kind of stuff and who are also trying to achieve something. And you and I are not in the same business by any means. We are both entrepreneurs, but we are totally different in what we're doing and how we're doing it and all that stuff. But the idea is, when you and I talk about your business or when you and I talk about my business, sometimes it just gets my brain going and I leave that conversation thinking of something that I'll apply to my own business and it's beneficial. If I think about working on my business 1 extra hour a day because of something we talked about in your business, that's really beneficial to me because I may not have even had that thought. I might not have even given it that time. So,
like
um,
freezing rows in Excel.
it's like freezing rows in Excel. Exactly. I didn't even know that exists. I mean, okay, I knew it existed, but I never thought to use it until I saw how awesome it was. That's a simple thing.
But yeah, I remember the thing that I lost. So thank you for filling the gap so I could think. Is the other thing that I didn't think about is as my business grows, and in order to keep the expansion sustainable, and I can't do it all by myself. I'm able to actually employ people, or employees. I don't know legally. I don't have any employees right now, but I'm able to pay people for contracting work. I can contract work from them and pay them and help them towards their goals, and they can live their dream of working from home as a graphic designer and video editor, for a positive company that's doing good in the world. It's just cool. It's like I didn't even I'd never even envisioned the amazing benefits that come from just putting hard work in towards a good, moral, reasonable purpose.
And that's, aside from making your own money, that's one of the biggest benefits of owning a company is taking care of other people. Putting somebody else's kids through college, and watching them buy their dream house and watching them do their investments for the future. Um, and there are employers who are not thinking like that. I think you and I think like that. There are a lot of employers who don't think like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something very empowering to being able to take the money you make and the good you're doing and then basically benefit even more people. So, I don't think that
People
ever
who
gets old
earn
personally.
it too. Like, it's one thing to be able to be charitable.
Yeah, and
Someone
this is
had a
not
problem.
charitable. No,
Right.
they're
This
working
is
towards our
like,
goals. Like,
yeah, like you are able to pay them for helping you towards your goal, and you
yeah,
paying them is helping them towards their goal. It's a beautiful,
yeah.
like, paradox almost.
They help you build your dream. You help them build theirs. And I mean, it's pretty much a love fest of finance and wealth.
It is a love fest. Dan said it's a big responsibility too. That's true because now you have that person's livelihood on your back.
And I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I mean, there are months where I don't get paid. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not abnormal. I mean, in a year there are probably 1 or 2 months where I will not get a paycheck, and there are months where I will get way more than I should ever get in a month, which of course is where you make it up. But it's not easy to go back to your own family and know that 10 other people are being taken care of, and you're kind of like, hey, I didn't bring anything in this month because I had to take care of these people, and that's very difficult for people to understand when you're on the front line because your greed sets in and you're like, why am I giving all my money away? Why am I not keeping more of it? But when you understand that those people that you're taking care of are helping you build your dream, you're a lot more prone to take care of them and treat them. You put them above yourself, really. At the end of the day, that's really where they are on the totem pole. They're actually above you. So it's interesting. But yeah, when you own a business, you're like three in line. It's kind of like your customers are number one, and then your staff is number two, and then you're kind of like number three. So as long as those two are taken care of, then you can be taken care of. But if any of those are lacking, then you really, you can't just jump in front of them. Otherwise, you'll quickly lose your business and you'll lose your people and all that stuff. So it's a little tricky sometimes.
I would say that the primary important thing is that you get what you're there to get. And in order to get those things, you have to prioritize the customer and the employees, but nobody comes before yourself.
Well, you got to sacrifice sometimes to see, because at the end of the day, you really are putting yourself first. I'm saying it in a way of saying put your employees first, put your customers first. But what that does is it helps your business thrive, which then in turn helps you thrive. So if you were to have, and this is where I come in with abundance mentality. Abundance mentality is, I give to everybody, and I'm open, and I try to help everybody grow as much as possible, and I try to take care of them first. I'm giving, but I expect to receive also. So in abundance mentality, I'm not closed-minded. If I were not helping these people to do what they need to do, then my business would crumble, which would directly affect me. Like, I would never get anything I'm, deserving of at that point if I didn't take care of the people who are making that possible. Right. So even though you have to put them first, you're really not, you're third in line in the short term, but in the long term, that puts you in the front. So, okay. You can look at it however you want, but that was more of a short-term thought, as in, don't put yourself in front of your employees, because
you definitely can't pay yourself before you pay your employees. You should never be in a position where you're going to be like broke because you didn't get paid for 1 month.
I actually know business owners that do that, and they have employees who are not paid, and it's kind of sick to watch. Like, they're literally like, my boss didn't pay me, and I'm like, why are you still working there?
I just
and
told you about that.
I don't have another job, and it's like, well, what are you waiting for?
Job.
Yeah, it's like I'm waiting for them to tell me I can cash my check. I'm like, okay, that's a bad place to be right now. Like, if your employer is not paying you and they're driving around in a Lexus, right, something's wrong. Like, if they're not paying their employees, they better be in a beater car, like out in the parking lot, barely making it, or riding their bike here.
Yeah, they're like sleeping in the office. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they better be here at 7 a.m. and leaving at like 12 midnight. I mean, if they're here at 10 o'clock and leaving at 4 and you're not getting a paycheck, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So
totally.
You got to really take that into account.
Yeah.
But yeah. So to Dan's point, it is a big responsibility, and it never isn't a big responsibility. And the bigger it gets, the bigger the responsibility is.
Yeah. And we have to end because I have to go to the post office. But then there's also causation versus correlation. So rich friends versus poor friends, you know, make sure you're kind of looking at what is the actual cause, because sometimes there's correlations between things, but it doesn't mean that one necessarily caused the other. There could be a completely separate cause. So, you know, you can Google causation versus correlation and learn more about that subject on your own time. Maybe we'll talk about it next week when we're back with episode 3 and Ed's new microphone.
We will have a new microphone next week.
Thank you.
And it won't be nearly as attractive as this one. So everybody get a good look at it, because this is the last time it makes an appearance.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of sad now.
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll just keep it on the side, and I'll just kind of like once in a while.
Okay, yeah, it's just in case things get a little stale.
Yeah, in case someone needs it.
Thank the Lord. Yes, though. Yeah, so we won't have to listen to that clicking anymore, and it'll be even higher quality for our good friend Tai Lopez to tune in and watch. Thanks for watching, Tai. And everyone, thanks for being here. Thank you for all the super hearts. Dan, single-handedly supporting this broadcast with 18,000 super hearts. You're the only one that sent any. You're awesome, Dan. What would we do without you? We would have both just worked for free. Well, I think Ed kind of did work for free. Am I supposed to pay you?
No.
Okay. I pay you in mentor calls because I mentor you.
You pay me mentor calls. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Are we ready to go? Do you have any last words?
Nope.
All right.
I got nothing.
Thanks for watching, you guys. We just went over step 4 and 5 from Tai Lopez's 67 Steps program. The 67 steps to... Did I say that? Yeah, okay. 67 steps to the good life, health, wealth, and happiness. What would you do without us? I don't know, Dan. I don't know. What would any of us do without any of us? I just don't know. And thank you to this person. I'm assuming this might be Casey. Vipul. Oh, who's this? I've been talking to this person. Who is this person? Is that Coin? Oh, yeah, Coin said you were smoking hot, by the way.
Who's Coin?
A guy. I don't think he was talking to you. Sonam, Dan, Davis. Thanks for the hearts. Thank you, everyone. You guys are awesome. You'd be less bored if you didn't know us. Wait a minute.
Yep. I got to give a shout out to Dan, though, because he's the reason I went to the gym this morning. I woke up and I was so tired, and I saw him dancing around, and I'm like, if Dan has that much energy to dance around at 5 a.m., I should get to the gym. I'm like, what am I even thinking right now?
Seriously, Dan is super. I love awesome. Waking up to Dan Scopes. Awesome. Yeah, it gets you up.
He even did push-ups, which he was like, watch how many push-ups I can do. And he banged out like 10 push-ups, like while he was dancing.
Yeah. So then Ed's like, screw it, I gotta go to the gym.
Yeah, I'm like, how can I not go to the gym after this? He's been on for hours and he just did 10 push-ups.
Vipul, that was totally the comment of the broadcast. I'm gonna close on that comment. He said, Elon Musk has launched a rocket to space and it's back already, and we're on step 5. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor and Ed. Hope to see you back next Friday at 3 p.m. for episode 3, where we will pick up on step 6 from the 67 Steps program by Tai Lopez. Feel free to check out my website, femyoga.com. This channel is 100% viewer funded by people just like you. And I will be back later to get through more of Atlas Shrugged. That we are at the John Galt monologue. It's long, it's 55 pages long, but it's super powerful. So I hope you'll join me back later tonight for that. Thanks for watching. Crap. Dan, why'd you gotta give us to 20,000 super hearts? Hang on, Dan got us to super hearts.
Oh, that blew my eardrum out.
I'm sorry.
Ow. It was like motors, like chewing in my ear.
Do your pose.
Oh, pose. We got it.